welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome. My name is Ray and welcome to Ray's Upgrade Lounge. Here on my channel, I talk about dating right, dating for results. I give you dating tips as well as advice on how to level up and get the desired results in your dating life. So if that sounds like what you would like, tap the subscribe button. Why not be my first 100 subscribers and let's get the show on the road. So pretty privilege, I believe you all know what pretty privilege is. It's literally what it says, having certain privileges, getting certain things, favors and privileges and say gifts or whatever, achievement for your looks. All right, so you are super pretty and men or people generally like to do nice things for you, do favors for you based on your looks. That's what pretty privilege is. So today's video, we're saying why pretty privilege is not enough to achieve the highest level of success on the dating scene. And I will start by saying that we can see that even some celebrities that we regard as some of the most beautiful women, they pay men money. Men they have been married to or have been with in a partner, in a romantic partnership or relationship or situationship. They end up having to pay them money when the relationship goes south. Why is this? Why is this that some of the most gorgeous, stunning women, successful women have to sometimes go through that harsh ordeal of paying their exes, ex-husbands, ex-boyfriends money for one reason or the other, when the reverse should be the case? This is a typical situation, a typical example, and a typical go-to explanation as to why pretty privilege is not enough. So let's get into it. Every woman wants to be pretty, and every woman, if adorned right, it cannot be regarded as gorgeous and all of that. But whilst you need beauty to get a certain level of success on the dating market, those looks alone will not do it all for you. Do you agree with me when I say that some men are torturously affected by beauty? What I mean is some men just get so obsessed when they see a stunning woman that is way out their league. Their goal is to actually reduce you to their level, is to make a scapegoat of you. Do you believe that there are men like that and that there are people who exist like that? They see something good or something that's sparkly and gorgeous and attractive and they just want to damage it. There are toxic humans like that. They think the world is theirs to rule, and so anything that they can, there should be nothing they cannot attain. All right. So this brings us to the point where I say that beauty and pretty privilege alone is not enough, because some of these men will come to you deliberately knowing that your life is about pretty privilege, and they will make sure you do not encounter that privilege with them, and then in turn debunk it as well as show you that you are not all that. And so if as a girl, as a woman, you are focused just on pretty privilege, there are situations and scenarios that will not work. That's because sometimes you would have to do more mental calculations and intellectual or emotional reasoning. But pretty privilege, you have to be set aside. You have to use your brains to think fast. With pretty privilege, you do not have to do much, because the looks are out there and they're glaring for anyone and everyone to see. However, for you to get the results that match up with that pretty privilege, you must have to apply emotional intelligence. You must have to apply that decision making, boundaries. So many things come into play when it comes to achieving results as a pretty woman. Because tell you what, pretty women attract a lot. Everyone wants a pretty thing. Everyone wants a pretty thing. That's why they are not particularly averse to attracting the dumpstering men, the men who, those low vibration men and those good for nothing men. They are not averse to them. They attract them just as an average looking woman or a woman who has low self-esteem, right? So it's about being actually strategic, emotionally intelligent, having boundaries, loving yourself more, having that self-obsession that makes you realize that there are just certain things you cannot do. You must see it as a game, as a business where you are focused. You need focus, you need self-love, a lot of self-love, confidence, emotional intelligence, strategy, boundaries, you name it. All right, so let's break some of those. I know we cannot cover all of those in this video, but let's break some of those down. When I say self-love, I think self-love is the biggest trait that uplifts someone from 0 to like a limitless standard. As you get to know my channel, you will notice that I will talk a lot about self-love, because self-love is that one thing that can never be taken away from you. What it does for you is that it uplifts you to a point where it makes you love and obsess over yourself. And how you treat yourself, like it or not, is how a lot of people get to treat you. How you perceive yourself, the aura you give off, how you love yourself without speaking a word, is how most people are going to treat you and relate with you. Like you or not, some people see you a lot of times, often. Say you go to a certain supermarket, you go to a certain bar for brunch. Some people will see you many times and will not have conversations or even exchange pleasantries with you, but they'll form a perception of you. That perception comes from how you dress, how you carry yourself, the energy you give off, how you talk, just your body language. All of those components will get to decide how people look at you and treat you, even without knowing you, right? That's why appearance is so pivotal on the dating scene, because what you put in most times is what you get out. Yes, what you put in into your looks, into yourself, whether it be emotionally, physically, intellectually, and then physically, most of all, because again, we know men are visuals, right? So what you put in this many important aspects of your life is what you will get out. Do you just think that someone to love you for who you are, so you don't put enough effort into your look? Then you are going to be getting people who are below par. You are going to be attracting people who are just as low self-esteem, who are just trying to, get in and get out, who are seeking a snack, someone who will give them a snack or a cookie and all of that. So if you decide that you are going to put the bare minimum into yourself, you will most times be getting bare minimum results out of yourself as well. Emotional intelligence. Listen, emotional intelligence is so important, especially for women, and it means that you understand what is happening, but you play dumb, because men are insecure. A lot of them are insecure. So if they think you know too much, they'll be like, she's not my type. Oh no, you're the type. They're just insecure. They know that you're probably too smart for them, and so they decide, you know what, I'll go for someone who is more dumb. So most times, even though you know where this is heading, you may have to stay quiet. The best way to get to know a man and get to know what he is about and what he's got to offer is to stay quiet, smile, and ask questions. Speak less about yourself. Speak less about yourself. Try to know him more, know what he likes. Does he have hobbies? What are those things that he does after work? Does he own a business? How long has he run that business? Has he got employees? There are boundless and endless questions you can get to know about him. But the more you know, the easier it is for you to get what you want, right? The easier it is for you to date this man comfortably. So emotional intelligence is not interchangeable with looks. Actually, both must go hand in hand. The more effort you put into your physical appearance, also you should put into your head. Because if you walk into a room empty-handed and just drop out everything about you on the table, they will know how to combat whatever you present to them. But the less they know, the better for you. And I like to think that mysterious women get the most. Not just beautiful women who have a certain mystique about them get a lot of positive results in dating and romantic relationships. So that's about emotional intelligence. I think it is absolutely important for you to develop and improve your emotional intelligence, especially as you grow older, as you intend to get better results and improve your dating choices and make better results. Again, this is for people who want to date with a focus and date with results and date right. It's not for everybody. I don't know, because most of the things I will say in my videos and my content, you will realize it's not for everyone, because not everyone would agree with them. And I absolutely agree with you. Not everyone will agree with my point of view, but you will understand that for you to have success, you have to be focused. You have to have boundaries as well. So let's talk about boundaries. Every man who comes to you wants one thing and one thing only. And this is regardless of what our relationship turns out to be. regardless of the outcome, he has approached you or come to you because he wants one thing and one thing only, and that is the cookie jar, some snacks. All right, that's what he wants. They should actually say boundaries and self-discipline, right? Include self-love and self-respect and dignity as a woman. All right, so boundaries are the only thing that will make you be able to direct that man from where he's come from. You redirect him onto a path. You show him a better path, that path which is better for you, which is much more promising and result yielding for you, because it's all about you, baby. It's not about him, it's about you. All right, you are the one who decides. You are the one who allows what is or what will not be. All right, you carry the power, except of course if you don't know who you are and you do not have self-confidence, and so everything goes, you are just happy that a guy is speaking to you, then you shouldn't be dating, because that will just turn you into a doormat for every sort of man, and the dumpstering ones. And if you are in that sort of energy, even the ones who are actually well off and are generous will not give you anything, because you do not have a boundaries and everything goes, and you are so insecure. You do not know how to ask or request for or require or put up a boundary that they must deal with before getting to you, right? So boundaries are important, because regardless of how beautiful you are, if you do not have boundaries, a man can rush in today, get those snacks, and get out tomorrow and ghost you. It happens. A lot of beautiful women get ghosted, just as other women get ghosted. Trust me, it's not just about looks. Some women are out there that people think are average or fives, and they get way better results than women who are quote unquote drop dead gorgeous. You don't believe me? So many cases. There are some women that even as a woman, you want, when you get into their presence, you are like, oh my goodness, were we created by the same God? Do you know, that's sort of beauty. And still they are going about getting the bare minimum from men, right, from their relationships. So it is about boundaries, setting standards, putting in place goals that you want to attain. See, a lot of people, the media, the world now tries to, make women feel a certain way because they want certain things out of relationships, out of dating. They have goals, and they've set goals and standards that they want to attain or get out of dating. And they say, "How are you for sale now?" You can't not be bought, right? You cannot be bought. But if people prepare and set goals for jobs, set standards for jobs, and set the certain goals that they want to do for jobs and for their normal day life and their everyday life, how about the most important aspect of your life? Because who you end up with, or who you are, or who you choose to partner with, will affect you either negatively or positively the most. So why shouldn't you set goals? Who you decide to, share your snacks with, whatever, will determine the path and who you're going to be. If you decide to share that with just anybody, you will stay with that low level of life. All right. And the truth is, when you do things like that, when you make decisions like that are not particularly dignifying, it affects you mentally. It means your perception of yourself is not really good. It's not a positive one, or else you would know that you deserve to be looked after. You deserve someone who would uplift you in a relationship, not just order Uber Eats for you to eat. The sort of people that will not do anything except when they are going to be part of the enjoyment. There are some men who will not do anything for you, no favors for you, because they do not like you. All right, because they do not like you. They're there for the snacks. They're there for whatever. All right, so you decide to go for the glow. You decide to go for gold and say, these are my standards. These are my level. If you want me, this is how you must approach. This is how you must move. You must move correct to be with me. And you must reflect that in your daily life. How is your living space? How do you get out there? When you get out there, do you present yourself? Do you look presentable? How do you carry yourself? How do you dress? What do you wear? Does it attract a certain caliber of men? Right? Yes. The way you dress attracts a certain kind of men. If, for example, you have extremely long nails, your dresses are so tight, slits up all the way to the, your T-zone there, those sort of things, they attract a certain crowd, the young crowd. Happy-go-lucky types are the ones who just want a snack, right? Those are the ones who walk up to you and say, what are you up to? You know, they can't say good morning. They don't know how to approach a woman. They just throw a one-liner there and expect you to understand. Those are the ones that when they text with you, they text in alphabets, not in sentences. They go like, W-Y-D, Y-D, W-Y-D, L-O-L, L-M-M-L. They're speaking alphabets. You will attract a certain type of people, right? So it is totally dependent on you. If you want to get your life in a place where you know exactly what you want and you put in the work, and after putting in the work, you also put boundaries in place that will automatically exclude a certain type of men out of the context, that it will totally eradicate the possibility of them coming into your life or even presenting themselves to you, right? First of all, you have those boundaries. Those boundaries are repulsive to them. They are repulsed by boundaries. You should not know this today. A lot of low caliber men are repulsed by boundaries. And so that's why you, as a girl who wants to date right and get positive results out of dating, you make it a point of duty to put boundaries in place, because it will help you to either win or win. I always say this, you will either win or win, because if mistakenly, if per chance they filter through and come to you, you've got all those boundaries, you've got all those hoops they must jump through to be able to have even a conversation with you or to even have a date with you. For most of them, like I said, they're repulsed by this sort of requirements or boundaries you've got in place. They will automatically like, it's not that deep. Of course, it's not that deep for them. But what it does is that they leave. They're not there wasting your time or trying to get a conversation or whatever with you. And so you move on. That slot is not filled. You move on looking for the one who will fill that, or the ones who will fill those slots, right? So boundaries are so important. And again, going back to our topic of today, pretty privilege is not enough, because if you have pretty privilege but you do not have boundaries, then you will not be able to actually cash out on those opportunities that will come your way. You will have an affluent person on your hands, but because you don't have boundaries, you're giving to whatever they want of you, you will be theirs for the taking, which it should be the other way around. So you need boundaries, you need self-love, you need confidence. I will try and wrap up because it's the first video, so I will go immediately to the last one and talk about it. The last one being, the purpose of a man is to serve you. You do not attach importance to him per se. You attach importance to what he does for you, how he uplifts you, how he improves your life. So if your pretty privilege is you are the impressionable type, and one action from them, say they send you a large bouquet of roses, and immediately you think, oh, that's it, the world is at your feet, and then you can go in and swoop in and do whatever and give all the snacks and all of that. And then after that, you then go back to trying to be the one chasing. You have to be smart enough to let him chase, let him stay in that position of chasing. The man likes to chase. He wasn't created to chase. All right, do not make light of your position to let the man chase. So pretty privilege will not be enough if you do not let him chase, if you do not have boundaries and have requirements, like you don't present him with challenges that will help him, make him solve them, and therefore make him capable of being with you or by your side, right? The privilege of having you on his arm should be something that he is obsessed with, and he must like you like several levels higher than what you perceive him to be. I am not of the school of thought that women go for men who are good looking, who are their spec. When I hear grown women talk about spec, it bothers me because I feel like it's a red flag and it's a code word for rubbish dating. Because when you talk about spec, when you find your spec, you may very well not be their spec. I kid you not. So what happens when they know your spec? That's when you begin to create and devise a means of chasing after this so-called spec that doesn't give two hoots about you. So it's so important for you to search out how you can place yourself where You are the prize. You're the main character. You do not have time and space where you are willing to frolic with a man who's in his feminine energy and wants to compete for the spotlight with you. You are the main character. The woman is always the main character. And so it's important for women to remove from their spaces any man who does not own up to their masculinity, who wants to be just as feminine as you. You can already see that pretty privilege is not enough. If you got pretty privilege but you still have a so-called spec, you are letting go of people who will build you up, who will uplift you, who will increase you in so many ways, and you are focusing on the wrong things. It means you are still dating like a teenager. You are still looking for looks. You're looking for appearances. You're 6 feet tall, dark and handsome, and you will not be main character because you will have to drag him with so many other women, because so many other women out there are still in their dumpstering era. They're still in their dumpstering era, and they want to be with men that they will have to fight and bicker with other girls over, and they just enjoy saying, oh, I need to see your phone. They just enjoy drama. When you're not on about spec, when you are willing to be the main character and you want peace, you want growth, you want someone who uplifts you, you do not look for drama. Otherwise, you will end up having to pay him. Okay, like I said in the beginning, there are women who the world perceives as some of the most stunning women, even as celebrities, A-class celebrities. They pay men. They pay money to their exes, huge amounts of money at the end of their relationships. That's because they did not do their work. They did not do their job. A woman who is 25, 28, 30 should not even be looking at someone who is in their 30s. Those people date. They can only emotionally and mentally date girls who are 19 or 21. So as a 25-year-old, if you're looking at a 30-year-old, he's possibly not even ready for marriage. He's possibly still living with his mates, right, sharing a flat. And so those decisions are things that you have to, if necessary, write down to know that that is not your goal. That is not your goal. This is not where you go. Pretty privilege can only be harnessed to its fullest when you do away with things like spec, when you have boundaries, when you have self-love, and you have that main character energy, and you are always in your feminine energy, and you love yourself. You do not apologize for wanting to date for results. Otherwise, you will find yourself splitting bills. You will find yourself as pretty as they come and still be splitting bills, if not paying the bills for the man. Okay, so those are things you have to always bear in mind. If not, pretty privilege will never be enough. You'll be pretty as they come and still not get any positive results from your dating or from the men you will have in your life. So today, think about it. Stop giving too much. Stop doing too much. Stop lowering your standards. Instead, put on your main character energy. Put in boundaries in place. Have a focus. Have goals you have in place for dating. If you fail to plan for results in your dating, you will date and fail. You need to have those results. Those results are what will keep you going. You still have some traits of hamstringing you when you want to set your foot on the wrong path. Those goals will bring you back to the right place. So if you like my videos, do follow, leave your comments below. Let me know if you think the pretty privilege alone is enough, and if not, let me know. Like this video, follow, and let's get to 50, because I do like the idea of having live streams. So if you've not already followed, follow and turn on notifications, because I post videos every 3 times a week. Also, feel free to leave comments on video suggestions you want me to talk about. See you next time in my video. Ciao, ciao.